In today's video, we're going to talk about everything that we know so far about the Fujifilm XH2, and we're going to get you up to speed about the next camera to be announced by Fujifilm. And please keep in mind that every information discussed in this video is still rumor at this point. And with this disclaimer out of the way, let's get started. So Fujifilm is to release in 2022 two versions of the XH2, one with a 40 megapixel backside illuminated CMOS X-Trans stack sensor, and another one with a 26 megapixel CMOS X-Trans backside illuminated sensor. At this point, we do not know if the 26 megapixel X-Trans sensor will be a new sensor or the sensors that they use so far for the X-T4 or the X-T3. But so far, Fujifilm never released two sensors in the same year, so I would go for the second option. The 40 megapixel version of the XH2 will, I assume, support 4K 120 FPS, 8K 30 or maybe 60 FPS, will have a higher resolution sensor and maybe a slower burst rate. However, we are not sure about the burst rate yet because we do not know the capacity of the new stack sensor architecture. When it comes to the 26 megapixel sensor, by taking advantage of the new processor of the XH2, we can assume that it will be able to do 4K, maybe 120 FPS. I'm not sure about the 8K capabilities though, but we will have to see about that. And maybe a higher burst rate than the 40 megapixel version. It is most likely that Fujifilm will announce and release their new XH2 in May 2022. This is when their X Summit will take place, and they just announced it this week, by the way. They also leaked their XH2 on the Twitter account of Fujifilm Africa. So at this point, it's almost confirmed that the XH2 is coming. The XH2 40 megapixel version is rumored to be priced at $2,500, which is extremely cheap for a camera that is able to capture 8K footage. If you compare it to the Sony A1 or the Canon EOS R5, that's pretty much half the price. When it comes to the 26 megapixel version, I would assume it to be between $1.5 and $2K, which would price it a little bit more expensive than the X-T4 with slightly higher capabilities. Alright, so who are those XH2 for? I think that the 40 megapixel version of the XH2 is for the people who need that extra resolution without necessarily needing that extra burst rate, meaning landscape photography, product photography, food photography. The 26 megapixel version of the XH2 will be a more well-rounded camera without maybe the 8K capabilities, but with higher burst rate, which would basically be similar to Sony's approach of the A7 III and the A7R3. I think that the 26 megapixel version of the XH2 would suit more people into sports photography, wildlife photography, or even photography where burst rate matters more than the actual resolution of the picture. In the past, I think that Fujifilm had some issues with differentiating all of their cameras. Most of the cameras were using the same sensor, had more or less the same capabilities, but having two sensors moving forward would help them differentiate two gammas of products and will let the client choose what they need depending on what they shoot. Alright, so let me know what you think about this new XH2. Would you be more interested in the 40 megapixel version or maybe the 26 megapixel version? And what camera do you currently use? Let me know in the comments. So that's it for today. So today was more a shorter video. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and your help would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.